What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greats in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? And all the way from the other side of the world, Daniel Acevedo.
What's up, guys? I'm here from the future. Let's get it going.
What's going on? So definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP. Check out last week with Delisha Hodo from SANS Institute. And then this week will be Rico Randall. He's a Red Hatter as well as the founder and host of Dem Tech Folks. So DEM, Develop Every Mind, Tech Folks. Check it out as well. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, dental, procedures, inbound, things of that nature, graduations. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from tomshardware.com, right? Written by Christopher Harper. And the title of this one is Internet Archive Facing Sustained Cyber Attacks, Nonprofit Struggles with Impactful Targeted Adaptive DDoS Campaign, right? What's pretty much happening is the Internet Archive, right? So like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it to where you've seen like any type of reporting or something where they talk about some type of website or some type of post, that was up at some point, but then it's down and you can't currently access it. Well, a lot of that stuff gets archived and for people to see. I don't want to necessarily say it's for posterity's sake, right? But like, it's one of those things where if someone tries to say they didn't say something or didn't do something, like, here's where it is, where we show that that's the case. Well, that archive is getting sustained DDoS attacks, right? So distributed denial of service attacks. So what's happening is that there's just a bunch of traffic being thrown at it to keep it to where it's not accessible, right? And so who's necessarily behind this? They don't really know, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I could see where this happens more and more, right? So like people that are usually it's people that are running for political office, right? Like they may have had some type of social media or something like that they no longer have, so they think they're safe, right? They're like, oh, it's down. They're like, no, we got receipts right here. Like this is what you said, is what you did, right? This is what you dressed up for as Halloween 10 years ago, right? Like it's out there. You thought it was gone, but no, everything, if it gets posted to the internet, it's forever, right? It's one of those things. But what's going on? Again, they're getting constant attacks to where their site will go offline for a little bit, right? Their web page caching service is what it's called, will go offline for a little bit, so then people can't see the Internet Archive, right? So, and this is pretty important, right? Because they talk about this in the article, how Google, they had this thing. It was the Wayback Machine, right? So like is what they call the Internet Archive. And Google used to have a web page caching service, and they actually pushed people to the Internet Archive instead. They're like, hey, we no longer offer this, but this is where you can find this information, right? Whether it be that it was just too much to maintain or whatever situation may be. But even Google, who's big in the technology front, was like, go use this, right? So, but the Internet Archive, again, useful for people to get historical information and whatnot. And this is what's happening, is they're having sustained attacks, right? And whether or not it's from, some type of nation state or some type of private actor, you know what I mean? What's going on with this? We don't quite know yet, right? It may come out, but it's one of those things where this free information is out there for everybody to see, depending on what side of it you're on. Like if you're a journalist of some type, like you like having it, right? So you can do some accurate reporting on what has been done or whatever. But if you're somebody that's out there making poor decisions, right, and you're doing it on social media, as most people are want to do, right, it's going to come back to haunt you, right? So we'll see what comes about from this, or how long this is gonna be the case. But it's ongoing, right? DDoS, bringing them down so they can't be accessed, but we'll see what comes of it. Daniel, what's your thoughts on this, man?
This article is interesting, actually. Now that we kind of are unfolding it and talking about it in real time, it's really interesting because in the article, in more than one place, the Internet Archives refer to this attack as being a targeted DDoS attack, and that it's very specific on how the DDoS is going about and affecting their infrastructure, right? So an organization as the Internet Archives has been around for such a long time, and with the service that they supply to a lot of general users out there, I would assume that they have good infrastructure in place and IT and cyber support to deal with these kind of things. And it being that it's still ongoing and sustained speaks to either the volume of the traffic or the type of ways it's going around the protections in place. So I find that kind of really interesting and intriguing, wanting to know more information on how they're going about the attacks and what they're actually targeting. But the big thing here, which is really conspiracy for me, is like why, right? Like what is there to really gain? What's the smoke and mirrors behind this attack that they want to disrupt this service? And what's the gain from behind it, especially since nobody's come out to say that they're the ones that are doing this, right? So at first I was almost kind of reluctant. I was like, is this somebody that's new that is just doing this to show that they can do it, or they're learning how to hack now, and for some reason they decided to go for the Internet Archives and do this sort of thing? But the volume, sustainability, and the target nature that the Internet Archives is talking about makes me think it's somebody more sophisticated, or there's a real big reason behind it that we just don't know yet, and that hopefully there is more follow on to this article that unfolds later on, so we can learn more. But those are my general thoughts on this. What do you think, Ryan?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head in a few different ways, right? So again, I'm going down the conspiracy rabbit hole. It's been that type of week for me, I guess. But before I get there, please like, share, subscribe. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers. We're at like 404, so we're very close, danger close. If we just get 100 people, not asking for too much. There's like 8 billion of y'all, all right, in the world. Just need 100 more of you to sign up. But with that being said, we generate a lot of content, making GPTs now and things of that nature, like just doing a bunch of different, like I believe to be fun stuff, fun content. So definitely check all that stuff out. Hit up the newsletter. It's called the Weekly Rundown, where you can get all of that good stuff every week. So I don't understand why somebody would attack the archive unless they were hiding something nefarious, like you're saying, or like something's currently going on in the background. Because why? Like they're a nonprofit and they serve the people. You can hear my nieces in the background yelling, probably. They're visiting for the summer. I don't understand why you would attack them, especially like it can be a hacktivist group, because this is what hacktivists, they like this stuff, right? Accountability and things of that nature for others, not necessarily for themselves. But I digress, because I don't want no smoke. But like this thing is set up kind of like the Library of Congress, like they have every single book. This one has every single web page cached. And it serves the purpose of saying like, no, you said this, and then you try to change or edit it, or no, you did that, and try to take it down off the internet. And now we have, like Shannon said, receipts of it all. So why would you attack that organization? Because they're the truth fighters, right? If you're seeking truth, you go there and you pull from the archive. So something is going on in the background. I don't know what. And this one competed with a different article, right? So the FBI, let's just say the Department of Justice, took down the 911 S5 bot network. So right, that was like 19 million unique IPs. The biggest bot network that we know of in the world was taken down. And I was going to talk about that one, but I was like, everybody else is going to talk about that one. I don't think anybody's going to talk about the Internet Archives, which are super important, right? But it's a nonprofit. So nonprofits never get the shine that they deserve. In this case, like these people need to be protected at all costs, because they do something that is absolutely necessary for the internet, so people can't lie, or they can lie, but then there's obviously a backup somewhere to show that this is the way it really went down, because the internet is written in ink because they exist. It's not, you can't take down their stuff, but you can take down their entire infrastructure, though, as we can see that's currently happening. And it's especially being so sophisticated, right? Being an adaptive DDoS attack, this is not being done by somebody in their garage. Whatever nation state or bigger enterprise wants this to be taken down is baffling to me, but I guess we'll see in the near future once things are restored and they start to do the attribution to figure out where all this stuff came from. So we'll see what the future holds. And I know I say that a lot, but typically we do come back to these articles either 2 or 3 times, depending on how they unfold. I'm very interested to see why this is happening, because again, it's a nonprofit, so they're not necessarily a typical target, but they are easier to take down because there's not a lot of money behind them in their security. But secondly, like everyone likes them. Like who doesn't like the Internet Archive?
And here's the thing: I think we will see more from this, because journalists utilize this a lot, right? Like especially in this day and age, right? Because we're getting to a point where social media is going to be around. Like we're approaching like close to 20 years where some of these receipts have been held. You know what I mean? Like or even if it's somebody that did something, 40 years ago, they posted a picture of it 10 years ago, you know what I mean, of what they did, right? Like this is how they're getting some of these politicians and whatnot when they're dressing up in blackface, you know what I mean, back at Georgetown in the 80s, that's how they catch them, right? So I think journalists will keep this alive because it is a good resource for them, right? When they go out and they do reporting and they're like, no, you're saying this now, but this is what you said this amount of time ago. So we'll see. It'll be kept alive, I believe, right?
Yeah, definitely. Again, continue to tune in to Monday, Tuesday topics, Wednesday discussion, just like this, and then Thursdays Thursdays Ask a CISSP. So those are interviews where I talk to somebody from the community. I've got a lot of really good and interesting ones coming up. Definitely check out the previous ones with Elizabeth Stevens, Delisha Hodo. Upcoming is Rico Rando. So definitely check out all of those episodes. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So definitely tune in for that one as well. Hit up all the websites to go by our name. Check out all the newsletter stuff that drops weekly on LinkedIn and Medium. And then hit me up. I'm at Rai Security Guy on pretty much every platform you can think of. And you, Daniel, where can they find you?
On LinkedIn.
There it is. Stay
That's
safe.
it.
Stay safe.